and I had bought the lie of the soulmate. You had come out of it. I was talking to you and Paul nonstop, and he had just mentioned. I remember one night, and it was very helpful. I think about. I've used this with people. It's less eloquent than what you just said, but I was like, I don't know. She just might not be the perfect fit. There might be someone else out there. And he goes, yeah, of course there is. There's 4 billion women on earth. He's like, you think you're going to find the one that perfectly fits you? And it was very free because you're like, duh. He's like, you know how many other countries there are and places there are?
Well, you know what's funny about that is like, I think great. I as you say that, is like I realize like with my own kids, my wife and I have probably made it hard because we have like this dream story. Like we met and we both knew. It was like the across the room. It's what you want. It's what the movies are about. It's the love at first. So we truly have it. And it's challenging because we've been married for 22 years. Mm-hmm. And is that right? Yeah, 22 years. 2004. Yeah, it's 22 years. And just had our anniversary. And we truly we flirt with each other more than we did. We're more affectionate. We're poor children. We're constantly complimenting each other and flirting with each other. I can say this, and I mean this, forgive me for being so ridiculous, but I truly think she's the best woman in the entire world. I couldn't have picked a better person. I really mean that without being kind of funny. Oh, I know she's listening. I mean it, but that also isn't the experience that everyone gets to have. And their result that they have is no less certain when you look back. In other words, let's say you meet someone in high school or when you're young and you guys have to grow up together and you have to be idiots together and you have to figure things out. And then through all sorts of ups and downs, you end up and now you're married. You can legitimately say that is the only road and that is the person. Mm-hmm. And so that 4 billion thing, I get it when you're thinking about it, but on the flip side, when you look back, it is not just being cute. You can look back and say, this is God's child for you. It's a big deal. And when you make a covenant, you can look, I want everyone watching this, to take seriously that the person you're with it just takes off the pressure. You're with your person. Yeah. It is so helpful.
Yeah.
And that means all of their flaws are yeah, amen. That it's a ride or die situation. And it's not because they're perfect and complete you. It's because it's who God has for you. And that's the key.
I think he said that in the sense of,
no, I get what
the search is, as a single person, the search it's futile.
Yes.
But when you're married, the most freeing day of my life was the day I got married.
Well, and what he really captured with that is something I think that a lot of people have right now because of all of the dating sites and this stuff is I think the mistake that a lot of single people are under is that they have so many options.
Yeah.
I remember, and part of this is the sexual relationship that's ruined everyone as well because of the hookup culture that exists now because of Tinder and stuff. Mm-hmm. I always like to think to myself, I'm a cool guy. I know life. And when I hear about what's happening in the world, I'm I am the most fuddy-duddy. I'm disconnected from everything that's happening. I can't believe that's real. I remember when you first were telling me what Tinder was and I was like, that's real. But basically back when I was growing up, if you were a guy and wanted to I don't know, hook up with the ladies, you had to at least be good looking or rich or something. You had to have a good sense of humor. And now any nerd in the world can just go on a website and find someone else that wants to get together. So in other words, people are there's so many people out there, the 4 billion people, whatever, that everyone's just well, hey, I can just get together and hook up with anyone I want. And everyone's really lonely. And it makes everybody a commodity and objectifies everybody. But it starts by objectifying ourselves because we basically start looking for traits and trying to find these things. So I do think that decision fatigue, and I can see young people that are coming out of high school, going into college, and maybe what are the options in front of us? I keep my options open. I would just say this, it's okay to recognize the chapter of life you're in, to be in it. But the idea that there's a million people to choose from. I just think there's really wealthy people with a bunch of people all around that are so lonely. I mean, sometimes people say to yourself, well, I only met so-and-so because we happened to be in a car together and we happen to, again, God is sovereign and he's good. And so on the one hand, every circumstance, every meeting, everything, there's a possibility of awesomeness. And what do you call it? Like being put together, God's part of that. I just think we sometimes try to demystify, and we like demystify everything. So it's so mundane. And then all of a sudden we rush to try to mystify meeting somebody. And so all of a sudden we're like, but we lost it. Like either everything's like special. God's real, matter matters. Things that we do matter, and the circumstance matter, and his sovereignty matters in the class you're in and who you're sitting next to and where you go. And these conversations, like embrace it. Go. In other words, one of my kids was saying, I was talking to them about dating a little bit. I think with dating, for a lot of people, they say, let's say you're talking to somebody and you start to realize, wow, what if someone gets hurt, right? Just because your heart, you want to protect your heart and stuff. I think Christians sometimes make the mistake of like trying to create a subculture around dating that isn't biblical either, which is like arranged marriages with all these things. I think dating is not prescribed or described in the Bible. It's just a way people are getting together. And since people are getting married much later, we're not putting our 14-year-olds together. There requires to be a moment for people to get to know each other. But in that, your heart is exposed a little bit. And so you want to, obviously you shouldn't be, well, I'll let you ask the questions about that in a second. But my point is, if you're not willing to be real, like if you're going to protect your heart as you talk to people, then you're not actually dating. You're just putting on a thing. Like if you're going to meet people, you might hurt them and they might hurt you. That's the price of admission, and that's okay. But to make the carnage not sinful, you should have boundaries around your physical affection, and you're still going to get hurt. And there's still going to be misunderstandings, and it's still going to be challenging because so-and-so might talk to someone and that person might not be happy with that person. And this person might like a different person. I'm like, yep. That's because you're actually being real and making mistakes. Like there's not like a Christian secret to making it not vulnerable and not real, but, but I do think at the end of the day, there is a bit of wisdom that needs to be had. And so we don't want to approach dating the way a hungry person approaches like the grocery store. They say like, don't go grocery shopping when you're starving.
Yeah.
Well, don't go dating when you're not fulfilled in the Lord.
Amen.
Because it's going to lead you to idolatry and codependency and the rest. So,
hey Matt, you know what really slaps?
What?
Our subscribers, the people who watch the show, you each week. So thank you. We appreciate you tuning in each week to listen to the A Lot of Words podcast.
Make sure you like and subscribe and watch the videos to the very end. It's great for us. Make sure you comment, and it really supports the channel. And we really love hearing from what you have to say, and we're excited to keep doing this.
And buy a mug.